certainly see what investors have in store with a volatile market, tariffs, and of course a looming Fed decision. All these things and so much more on the minds of investors and consumers alike. All saying personal finance is top of mind for many, especially as we near the official start of summer. Joining me now to talk all about that is Larry Sprung, founder and wealth advisor at Mitlin Financial. It is great to have you here. Let's start with summer spending trends. It's summer. We're not at the back to school period yet, but a lot of people are trying to get out there for vacation. What are the trends that you're seeing about how people are spending their money?
It's a big time for spending for sure. Typically you see high-end categories in vacation, home improvements, and entertainment is really the highest areas that we see spending in during the summertime.
How about things like you said, let's say travel, concerts? How about home upgrades? I think that was a big one, of course, during the pandemic. We had some evidence of kind of scaling back. Where else are you seeing it?
Still is. I mean, people are enjoying their homes and staycations when they're not on the road and traveling, and upgrading that backyard, patio, pools, etc., so they can enjoy those long summer nights is important to them.
Larry, what is the number one financial mistake that you see people tend to make in the summer relative to other parts of the year?
I think we see people get lost in the excitement of summer, and what they end up doing is they try to budget during the year in terms of what they are going to spend, and many times they end up blowing past that budget. So staying true to what their plans are is very difficult, especially during the nice days that we experience during the summertime.
Yeah, no doubt. What is some best guidance for budgeting that you would most recommend someone to take into account?
Yeah, so first and foremost, make sure you have that budgeting set up well in advance. So you don't want to start in June for your summer budget. Make sure that you're planning for that all year long. And then number two is, not everything has to be done in that moment, right? If you are experiencing something that might be a large purchase, instead of pulling the trigger right then and there, maybe take 24, 48 hours to think about it before pulling the trigger on that major expense.
Larry, I don't know about you. I am guilty from time to time of checking my credit card statements and saying, wow, that was a hidden expense I was not expecting. What are some of those kind of seasonal hidden expenses you see that maybe sneak up on a lot of consumers, especially this time of year?
I think you said it earlier, right? That entertainment piece, right? All your friends are going to a concert, and next thing you know, you're there. Maybe you have to get on a plane to go see your favorite band, paying for the concert, all the extras that go along with it, and then you wake up, like you said, and you look at that credit card and you're like, wow, that it cost me how much? And it's a little bit of a surprise sometimes.
Yeah, I got Black Keys tickets coming up this summer at Forest Hills, and they're not cheap to do that sort of thing, so I certainly know what you mean. How about impulse buys? Obviously, we've all been there. We've seen a spike of this kind of seasonally in the summer. What do you see in the data that you think our viewers might want to be a little more conscious of as we move forward this summer?
Yeah, be careful about what you're purchasing, right? I think that there's been, especially with the talk about tariffs, right? People have been kind of pushed to maybe think about making purchases now because of the tariffs coming in. That may or may not be the case. I think you have to prepare. If it's something you absolutely need, not want, need, then maybe look at making that purchase today and doing it in a smart way. But if it's something that you want, don't just rush the purchase because of outstanding circumstances. Think about it again. Take 24 to 48 hours before pulling the trigger and see if that's something you really need today, or maybe you could even put it off till the future.
Larry, what recommendation would you make to someone who wants to become just a little bit more financially literate? They're looking at their own personal financial situation. They're saying, I know I can, I should, I must be doing better. I just don't know where to start.
So many tools out there. Depending upon what area you're looking to educate yourself in, there are so many great tools that you can help educate, from YouTube to personal finance experts that are out there. But buyer beware, so to speak. Be careful of who you're listening to. Maybe make sure that they have some kind of expertise in your area that you're looking for before you go following their advice and guidance. But there are so many resources that were not available to me when I was younger that are available today that could put people in a very good position for educating themselves around personal finance. This show too.
I was going to say, I like to take my advice from Larry Sprung, of course, when I have you here. I know you recommend a 24 to 48 hour pause before buying. How effective is that kind of cool-off period? And obviously, it's pretty self-imposed.
Yeah, I mean, for those big purchases, it's really important because, you get wrapped up in the moment. I do it too, right? You find something that you think you need or you think you really want, and you're looking at that price tag and you're like, oh, I think I can swing that. Taking that 24 to 48 hours puts it in perspective. Have conversations with those that you love, maybe your partner, etc., and see if it's something that really fits into the budget, and if so, go ahead. If not, then maybe just plan for it for next year.
Yeah, Larry, it was just Father's Day yesterday. And by the way, happy belated Father's Day. I know you got your son with you here today. What advice do you have for parents who are trying their best to balance all the fun of summer? They want to do everything the family wants to do and still trying to stay somewhat disciplined in the personal financial arena.
So our tagline is, what did you do today that brought you joy? And I think that that's important. And we're not saying that you spend everything for joy, but there's got to be a fine balance between what you need and want and what you are saving for retirement or for your future, and having that joy today. So you can't have it all one way or the other. The whole idea is to find that common blend where you can save for later and also find joy in your life today.
Larry, you know what I did today that brought me joy? I had you on the show. Larry Sprung, thank you for being here, founder and wealth advisor at Mitlin Financial. It's great to have you. Enjoy your day.